Not many people would expect a broken charger like this to be useful again. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than trash. But today, I'm going to turn it into a functional antenna. First, I need to disassemble the charger. I use a screwdriver to remove the outer casing, exposing the internal components. Then, I take out the circuit board to make it easier to work with. Next, I remove the metal prongs from the plug, keeping any reusable parts. In the next step, I use a motorcycle valve as a component for the antenna. This metal part can conduct signals well and is suitable for this purpose. Then, I drill a hole in the side of the charger casing. This hole will be used to mount and secure the valve in place. Next, I install the motorcycle valve into the hole I drilled on the charger casing. Then, I tighten the nut to secure it firmly in place as part of the antenna structure. In the next step, I connect the wires for the antenna. Here, I have two small blue wires. First, I strip the insulation from both ends to expose the copper cores inside. Then, I feed the wires through the metal prongs of the charger and leave some exposed copper for connection. Next, I use pliers to clamp the metal prongs while securing the wires in place. This creates a firm connection, allowing the signal to pass through the antenna more effectively. I repeat the same process with the remaining charger prong, this time using a red wire. Then, I feed the red wire through the hole of the valve to create a signal path. Next, I drill a small hole on the charger's top cover. I insert a small screw into this hole to serve as a mounting point. Then, I twist the blue wire around the screw on the cover. This creates an additional metal contact point, helping improve the antenna's signal reception and transmission. I use pliers to tighten the connection once more to ensure it is secure. Finally, I close the charger casing, completing the assembly. Next, I use a long hex bolt as the signal receiver element. First, I use a cutting tool to remove the hex base, keeping the straight shaft of the bolt. Then, I set up the cutting machine and turn on. I bring the tip of the bolt into contact with the cutting blade to shape it. This process helps refine and sharpen the tip, making it more suitable for signal reception. In the next step, I reuse the bottom of the soda can to create a signal dish. First, I drill a small hole right at the center of the can's bottom. Then, I use sandpaper to thin out the base of the can. This helps thin the aluminum layer and makes it easier to separate the base from the can. After finishing, I get a round aluminum piece with a centered hole, ready for the next assembly step. Next, I attach the bolt to the valve head to form the main signal receiver. Then, I place the round aluminum piece to act as the antenna dish. I install a nut and tighten it to secure the entire structure. At this point, the antenna starts to take shape with a mini signal dish. So, the basic frame of the antenna is now complete. In the next step, I use a power socket as an intermediate connector between the antenna and the TV. First, I use a screwdriver to remove the screws from the casing and open it up. Next, I remove 2 more screws inside to begin the wiring process. I use a signal cable to connect the antenna to the TV. First, I strip the insulation from the end of the cable. Then, I twist the shielding wire into a separate strand, keeping it apart from the inner copper core. Next, I connect the wires to the socket, making sure all contact points are secure. After finishing, I reassemble the socket and tighten the screws to hold everything in place. This is a signal connector jack, used to connect the antenna to the TV. It helps transmit the signal more stably and reduces interference. At the other end of the cable, I repeat the same stripping process. Then, I attach a connector jack to create a proper interface with the device. Finally, I wrap the connection with tape. This helps insulate the joint, secure it firmly, and reduce signal interference during use. After everything is complete, I plug the antenna into the connector and take it out for real-world testing. Now, I'll try switching channels on the TV to see if it can receive any signal without an antenna. As you can see, without an antenna connected, the TV cannot receive any signal. The screen shows a no signal message, meaning no broadcast channels are detected. Next, I connect the antenna to the back of the TV to test this DIY setup. As soon as I turn the TV on, channels immediately appear. The signal looks clear and stable, showing that the antenna is working. confirm this, I remove the antenna and then reconnect it again. When I unplug the antenna, the signal disappears instantly. And when I plug it back in, the channels return as normal. This clearly shows that the DIY antenna works very well. So, from a broken charger, I've turned it into a working antenna. No complex tools needed. Just a bit of creativity can turn useless items into something functional. If you'd like to see more ideas like this, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.